Hello everyone, Seago here. Today I got another healing guide for you where you're going to take a look at the 7.1 Restoration Druid Guide. We'll do a little introduction, builds and talents, we'll go over your artifact a little bit, rotation, cooldowns and abilities, your step priority, and we'll take a quick look at legendaries and which ones you would want for your Restoration Druid. But first, let's start off with the introduction. Now, Resto Druids, they specialize in maintaining a steady stream of healing on the entire raid, which they do primarily through their healing over time effects, or HOTS for short. They also do well with tank healing. They have some pretty good abilities that allow them to keep a bunch of HOTS on the tank. Life Bloom, Rejuve, what's the other one called? I always forget it. Regrowth. Keep all those on the tank, and they're gonna just keep them healed for a while. Their big cooldown, Tranquility, is probably the best healing cooldown in the game. It heals the most, and if you get once you get the gold, one of the gold artifact talons, you can cast and move at the same time. And they're just overall really good at reacting to burst damage. And like I said in my shaman guide, if you need a shaman, well, you'd want a Resto Druid too because of what they can bring to the table. But I'm going to go a couple of pros of the class because I always do a pro and con list. They're the most mobile healer. And they have a bunch of crap and they can move out of stuff while still healing, which makes them awesome. They have amazing throughput. They're pretty good at healing. They're both strong in both raid healing and tank healing, like I said, and they're amazing in 5-man mythic dungeons. I would take Resto Druid over any of the other healers in mythic dungeons. They also have Innervate, which is a awesome cooldown. I think I have it right here. Yep. It doesn't work like it used to back in the day. This one is just when you use it on a friendly healer, they can cast spells without spending mana. Instead of refunding mana, it just lets them spam heals without using any mana. And they have a great external damage reduction cooldown for tanks in the form of Iron Bark. A couple cons, they do have a limited toolkit, I would say, compared to a Resto Shaman. Less overall utility compared to other healers. They need to be proactive to heal most effectively instead of reactive. And they can also run out of mana really quickly if you're not managing it correctly. So those are some of the cons of a Resto Druid, but the pros still outweigh the cons a lot. But let's go ahead and take a look at some builds here. Actually, let's look at the talents really quickly before I talk about builds. So your tier 1 abilities, you have Prosperity, Cenarian Ward, and Abundance. Prosperity causes Swiftman to have 2 charges and a 20-second recharge rate time instead of simply having a 30-second cooldown. You have Cenarian Ward, which is an active ability with a 30-second cooldown. It places a buff on an ally lasting up to 30 seconds. When the player takes damage, Cenarian Ward activates an 8-second hot on them, consuming Cenarian Ward in the process. And you have Abundance. For each rejuvenation you have active, the cast time of the healing touch is reduced by 10%, and the critical effect chance of regrowth is increased by 10%. Okay, simple enough. Your level 30 talents is more like a movement abilities, except that one. That's more like a I heal for you, but you have Displacer Beast, which teleports you, Wild Charge, which grants movement ability. I'm not going to talk too much more about that. Level 45 talents, I'm not going to talk because this is more affinities that you can use, but you're not really going to use except maybe you're going to go with Guardian Affinity because you get 10% or 6% reduced damage taken. Easy enough. Level 60 is your CC abilities. Most of the time you're going to take Typhoon. I'm not going to talk too much about those either. Typhoon is that pushback. You could take Mass Entanglement too, depending on the fight, but that's about it for that. Your level 75 talent, so your tier 5 talents, is Soul of the Forest. Causes Swiftman to grant you a buff that increases the healing of your next regrowth or rejuve by 200%, or your next wild growth by 75%. Simple enough. Incarnation Tree of Life is your active ability with a 3-minute cooldown. It does not trigger the global cooldown. It lasts for 30 seconds, and it increases all healing done by 15%, as well as increasing your armor by 120%, and making you immune to polymorph. It also improves wild growth, regrowth, rejuve, and entangle roots. Wild growth gets 2 charges, regrowth is an instacast, and rejuve has its healing increased by 50% and its mana cost reduced by 30%. And you have cultivation, which causes rejuve to place a 6-second hot on targets that are below 60% when rejuve heals them. Okay. And your level 90 talents here. You have Spring Blossom, which places a 6-second hot on the target who are healed by your efflorescences. Ugh. That came out weird. You have Inner Peace, which reduces cooldown of Tranquility by 60 seconds. And you have Germination, which you could apply a second rejuve to the same target. So that's simple enough there. Okay, and your level 100 talents are Moment of Clarity, which Moment of Clarity now affects the next 3 regrowths. Stonebark reduces the cooldown of Ironbark by 30 seconds and increases the healing of your hots by 20%. And you have Flourish, which is an active ability with a 1-minute cooldown. It extends the duration of all your hots within 60 yards by 6 seconds. So those are your talents. There's technically 2 builds you could do here for raiding. The first build is for more large throughput for the entire raid, and then the second one I'll talk about is more based around tank killing. So the first build, which is for the whole raid, is you want to take Prosperity, Displacer Beast, and we're not going to really talk about those two, or that one either, Typhoon. Soul of the Forest, which I could do this. Spring, for level 90 you could take Spring Blossom or Inner Peace. I've been using Rejuve and Mythic Pluses, but we could do, it depends on which one you really want to do. It depends, like, if you think you're going to need Tranquility for more than a couple times a fight, like, I think Trank has a, what is it? It's base a 3-minute cooldown, but it turns it into a 6-minute or 2-minute cooldown. So you could have that much, like, if a fight's going to last more than 6-8 minutes, well, Inner Peace would be the way to go. And for your level 100 talents, you want to take, you want to take Flourish. Because Flourish is a no mana cost spell on a short cooldown, and it expands your hots on all the targets you have hots on. It's simple enough, so that would be your, let me put that on, that would be your build for raid throughput healing. For the tank healing, you would go Cenarian Warlord. This build is if you don't really have a dedicated, like a Holy Paladin, and you probably, if your tanks are taking a lot of damage, well, you'd probably be the go-to healer make sure your tanks are staying alive. So that'd be Cenarian Ward, that, Incarnation Tree of Life. You could take either Spring Blossom or Inner Peace again. And Flourish, that's the same. You pretty much never want to take these two ever. But that's your build for, those are your 2 builds for raiding. And for quick mythics, for Mythic Plus, 5-man Cenarian Ward, Cultivation, Germination, and Stonebark. Pretty much for 5-man stuff. That's what you want to take for 5-mans. The other 2 are for more raid. Is your raid build. That's pretty much it for that. Let's go ahead and take a quick looky at your artifact here. I'm not gonna go too much into your artifact because, I mean, by now you should pretty much know what your artifact does or does not. But your base skill that you get for Resto Druid is Essence of Gunnar, and it releases the natural power within Gunnar to increase the frequency that all your heal over time affects heal allies by 100%. Simple enough. And for a artifact progression path, you want to go this way to get Dreamwalker as your first golden trait. Then you want to come back over to Grove Walker and then get all of these to Tranquil Mind, which allows you to cast Tranquility and move at the same time. And then I haven't done much of my Druid. I've been focusing on my Shaman more. But then you go, what was it? 1, 2, oh, okay. Down here this way to get the third. And then fourth is just filling out the rest of these right here. But yeah, that's it for your artifact. I'm not going to go too much into it because, again, you should know it by now. Now, rotation, I don't really like, as I said in my other videos, I don't like calling healing rotations. It's more like a priority. I guess Druids might have a little bit more of a rotation than other healers, but again, Resto Druids, you're proactive healing instead of reacting to the healing that's going out. So let's start out with single target healing. So first you want to maintain efflorescence at all times. That's your AoE blanket heal. That's this thing everybody's come to love. It's that one right there. You want to keep Life Bloom up on one of your tanks, mainly the tanks who's tanking the boss at that time or taking the most damage. Regrowth and Rejuve HOTS on the targets. So you want to rejuve your tanks. Also put regrowth on them. You also remember you're proactively healing. So when there's a big spike of damage, you know that's coming out. Make sure you're putting those HOTS up. Mainly rejuve. If the target is taking more damage than the HOTS are healing, you want to cast your Healing Touch. That's your single target cast time heal. That's that one right there. Now, if the damage is still too high, just like your tank is still taking too much damage, even after you have all these HOTS going and you're casting your Healing Touch, one, you need to talk to your tank because there's something going on, and two, you could use Swift Mend, which is an insta heal that heals for a crowd ton. That's single target healing. That's more towards tanks, and when you're about to get a bunch of burst damage out, remember you're always proactively healing as a healer. Your AoE rate healing, again, Florence's baby right there. Make sure you're applying rejuve to raid members you think who are taking damage. During periods of high to moderate damage, Wild Growth, which will, you do that, and it heals up to 6 injured allies. It's your AoE throw leaves at your teammates heal. And of course, if a raid member is taking a bunch of damage, you can always use Swift Med too. That's how it works. Your cooldown usage, you have Tranquility, which it's your healing cooldown, which you should have like a healer or a raid leader telling you when to use that, so we won't go into that much. Iron Bark is your damage reduction for a single target. Tanks should usually call this out when they need it, so use it when they call for it. You also have Essence of Gunnar, which is your artifact ability. It should be used. Where is it on my bar? Oh, right there. It should be used to help you deal with large bursts of AoE damage. Assuming, this is key, assuming you have a bunch of HOTS up. So if you have a bunch of HOTS up and your group is still taking so much damage, you want to pop this so it's going to heal more for you. A good key is if a lot of the HOTS are about to roll out, well, you want to use Flourish, then use Essence of Gunnar after. That's a good key. You also have, if you take it as a talent, Incarnation Tree of Life, you can also use this. When there's a bunch of damage going out, it says it increases your healing by 50%. You also have Innervate, which is a healer might call out for this, or you might use it. I could plan that with your raid group. That's pretty much all you have to do there. But that's it for talents. So what I like to do is, beginning of the fight, I make sure my hots are rolling on my tanks, and I might put a couple more on people who I might know who are going to take some damage, especially some melees, because melee tend to stand into crap more than range. So I will do that. If I know for a fact a boss is about to do an AoE damage thing, well, I'll get my wild growth growing, put rejuve on as many people as I can, and just make sure those hots keep going on my tank. You also have to be careful with mana. Resto Druid's not the best mana at keeping mana, but so don't go and just rejuve the entire raid. That's how you lose mana fast. Try to plan, make sure you're watching your raid group, watching who takes damage the most. That's what Resto Druids do, right? Like, hey, I know this guy is going to take damage because I've seen him take damage before. I better start putting some pots on him. That's pretty much what you do there. It's simple. It's not that hard. Resto Druid isn't that hard once you start doing the proactive. Like, it's all about being proactive in the healing and not reactive. Once you learn to do that more, you're going to do fine as a Resto Druid. Simple as that. Let's see. What do I have here? Let's go stat priority. Pretty simple. For raid healing, you want intellect, of course. And it's haste, crit, mastery, versatility. And then I believe... And let me check on my notes really quick. Because I believe it's... haste is greater, equal to crit, but crit is awesome still, and then mastery over versatility. Your enchants and your gems should be haste as well. I don't think we've hit our haste breakpoint yet that we could switch from haste to just gem to crit if we needed. I'm pretty sure we're not. So right now, until it changes, haste, and I will update the guide if it does change. But right now, gems, enchants, haste, neck pieces, mark of the strange soldier, I believe. So that's the one you want for that. But yeah, haste is the best one for right now, and nothing's really going to change on that for the time being. And last thing I want to talk to you about is legendaries, which is, I didn't want me to move there. We have a couple, Resto Druids have a couple good ones. I haven't got mine yet because bad RNG on my Druid, I guess. But let's see. Tearstone of Luna is a pretty good one. Allies healed by your wild growth have a 20% chance to also gain rejuve. I believe that is still the best one for Resto Druid, so if you get that, you're pretty lucky. What was the other one? Eldranoth, Bond of Agalia. Swiftman extends the duration of your heal over time effects on the target by 10 seconds. So that's pretty good for single target HOTS and for like a tank, for example. Echo Wrath, Creator of Worlds, increases the effect of astral influence, feline swiftness, the kite, and Ysera's gift by 50%. So that's pretty good in itself, especially. So yeah, that's pretty good. Other ones you could get: the shoulders, Amanthul's Wisdom, rejuve cast on a full target, will reset to its full duration each time it heals the target, until the target takes damage or 10 seconds has elapsed. You also have Essence of Infusion, but that's pretty decent. Tranquility heals targets below 50%. Health for 50% more. That's pretty decent. The Dark Titan's Advice increases the instant heal when Life Wound expires by 200%. And it's not the best. It's not the best legendary right now because Life Room already often overheals when it expires. So chances are you're never gonna get the full potential of that. But Terrastone is pretty awesome. The Bonds of Agalia is pretty awesome. The shoulders are pretty good too. And when 7.1.5 comes out, these will be a pretty decent choice. But yeah, the rain is awesome. I would love that rain. But yeah, that's it for legendaries, and I think that's gonna be it for this guide. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this guide. Please like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what I need to improve on. Tell me what you like to see in these guides. I'm still kind of learning here, learning what to put in these guides and all that fun stuff. But that's gonna do it for me today. I hope this guide is useful. If you have any concerns, questions about Resto Druid that I haven't answered and you would like to answer, comment in the YouTube or follow me on Facebook, Twitter, all that fun stuff, and I will answer you there. I'm always willing to help out a fellow healer in there and what they need to learn or master or whatever you want to say. But again, thanks for watching. I'll talk to you guys next time. See ya.